Cool, and we're live, in person, right? Live in person, filmed before a live studio audience, that kind of thing. Welcome. Sorry for the delay, people online, if you were waiting. We were having some stream issues. There's a massive amount of rain in New York right now. Well, it's not massive. I'm exaggerating. So it's raining, and really, when it rains in New York, people become completely unable to do anything. It's amazing. I think it's the sheer volume of umbrellas on the street that makes it hard for anybody to like get around, right? You're like dodging in and out of it. Someday I'm gonna buy one of those like full like rain suits that you just put on so you don't need an umbrella. You just walk around in the rain like you're the king. So that's my goals. Everybody has to have goals in life. But anyways, welcome to OnSet. I'm Daniel Norton. This is Dave. Today we have Ingeborg helping us out here as the model, and Chewy is the mix master. And we are talking about shooting to a layout. So, I do these every Thursday, and for those who don't know, we stream them on YouTube. You just learned that earlier because we were talking about it. People on YouTube right now probably know that because they're watching it, but if you don't know, we stream on Thursdays at noon, and they float around and they live out there too, so if you want to watch them after the fact, you can. Typically, every week we cover a different kind of subject, ranging from whatever, the different techniques or whatever. Today we're going to specifically talk about a little bit more about the idea and concept of shooting to a layout, which is what you'll end up needing to do on some level if you decide to move into like more of a commercial photography type background. If you want to shoot commercially, generally speaking, unless you're doing like stock photography, most times they're going to give you some kind of an idea of what the image is going to be used for, oftentimes how they want it to kind of look. And it'll be your job to use your technical know-how and your vision to make that happen for them, right? So we're going to talk a little bit about that today. So whenever I do this, I draw like the most terrible layouts ever, because sometimes you work with people and they give you these like amazing layouts. It's like, wow, this is great. Yeah, half the time it's just like a pencil drawing. So I always do the really terrible one, so you can see what we can make from this. And what we decided to do today was a series of videos, a series of shots about Bose headphones, mostly because I just got a new pair of headphones and they're really nice and I wanted to show them off. So we're going to use my headphones, and I just I came up with a couple of kind of basic concept shots that you might need to produce. A lot of this type of stuff might be done on location, but so with like environmental stuff. But in this, we're just going to go with really simple studio type stuff, because obviously it's easier than taking our whole live stream system out to the park, especially when it's raining. So I will try to say all the equipment as I go through, but I often forget to do that. So if I'm using something and you want to know what it is, please ask. I will tell you. Also, if Mark Wallace is watching, I'm wearing your shirt. So I don't know if you guys know Mark Wallace. He's one of the, he's a photographer really, but he's one of the hosts on Adorama TV, and he's amazing. So he's traveling all around the world, or as many places as he can get to apparently, on a motorcycle, thus Mark on a bike. So if you're not watching those videos, check him out because he's pretty amazing. I think he's in the UK, yeah. He was hanging out in the UK with Gavin Howie. So they're producing some really fun videos. So if you haven't seen those, check those out. Not right now, stay on this channel right now. But after that, make a note, open another window, whatever, yeah. I always tell people to like go places while I'm in the middle of a live stream. Don't leave. All right, so anyways, here we go. So here's our basic layout. Now, note, this is pretty terrible. And it's not even that I could have done a better job. Like, I'm not trying to pretend like I could have drawn something nicer. This is pretty much my artistic skill, 4 years of college. But it's really rough, right? We've got a subject on, I'm backwards here. We have a subject over here with the headphones. You can see those are headphones though, right? So that's pretty good. There's some basic notes on this. It's a female subject. We already did the casting. We cast Ingeborg. We know that we want a bright background, right? Possibly windows. We're not going to be able to pull off windows today. This is one of those things that happens in life. We could have used the windows here. I rented this studio. Well, it's not really a studio, it's Adorama, but it has windows, but it's raining and it's kind of crappy outside. So instead we're going to go with the white background because that's our other option, right? Windows or white background. And then they want her face partially in the shadow so it doesn't detract from the headphones. So we're going to focus on highlighting the headphones, keeping her face, in focus, but somewhat in the shadow, and then a bright background. And we're going to kind of lay it out in this general area. They're going to end up putting text over here in the final layout. So sometimes when you get these things, it's like this is how they're going to, They used to fax it to you. I almost said fax. Well, I said it now, so now you know how old I am. So now they probably email it to you. You get this thing, and you have to start thinking for a second. Okay, well, I need to light this. I need a white background or a location, right? So I'm going to think about if I'm going to rent a studio or go on location where I can get such a thing. You want to have both options available. So I would have got a studio with nice windows and made sure I had a background available. We're just going to use a gray background because that's what we have here at Adorama. But I would have got a roll of white paper, ideally. It actually says light background. I know that I want to highlight the headphones, right? So I need to light them in such a way that I'm going to be able to get like a little bit of more light on the headphones than on the rest of her head. So I want some way to control my light. And the way that I've chose to do that is with the snoot, right? I'm assembling my equipment list. What am I going to need to make this shot? I'm breaking it down. I'm going to need a flash with a snoot. And I'm going to need a background, a white background or a light colored background. So that means I need to be able to light the background. So I need lights for that. Obviously, if we had had a bright sunny day, I could have just put those to the side. I'm still charging them for them, but it's there, it's there. And then we need to light her face. It needs to be in the shadow, so I need to be able to light her face in a way that I can really control it. Now, obviously, I want my subject to look as good as possible. Whew, that's good. I was delaying as long as I could, so now we'll get to it. So everybody will show up all soaking wet. I'm like, you know that movie? Is it Ice Age? Right? And it's like a squirrel. Is it a squirrel? Yeah, okay. I'm like that squirrel. I'm easily distracted. And I want a nice soft light on the face because I'm lighting a female subject. I want her to look good. This isn't some edgy, moody thing. We want kind of it's an advertising shot, so we want to keep it really kind of clean. So a good light source for that is a softbox. So I chose a 2x3 softbox. I also have a strip box just in case. You always want to get some extra stuff available. If you're renting a studio that has a full rental house as part of it, like many people in New York City will have, which is great to your advantage because you can suddenly be on set and be like, I need this, which is fantastic. But not everybody can do that. So try to get the stuff that you think you're going to need and then some extra stuff. It pays off. I mean, if you have to spend an extra $100 that day in rentals and you don't end up using the stuff, it's not the end of the world. But if you needed it to get the shot and you don't have it, that's going to be a bummer. So it's not expensive to add accessories. I think you rent softboxes are probably like $10 a day or something. They're super cheap to rent a softbox. So I don't know what it really costs at Adorama, so don't hold me to that price. But it's probably like that. They're not expensive. Anyways, so we chose to use the Pro Photo system today. That's the system that I usually use. I'm comfortable with it. I'm shooting with a Nikon camera. This is a D810. The D810 has got a lot of megapixels. It's an advertising shot. I probably want those. I'm not concerned with, and I'm not saying it's not good in low light, but I'm not concerned with high ISO because I'm lighting it, right? So I'm going to go with the camera that's got a decent amount of megapixels, and I'm not worried about one that's tremendously good in low light. So this camera might be good in low light. That's irrelevant to me. I'm going to shoot at 100 ISO. So decent amount of megapixels. That's going to give me room to crop. It's going to give them room to punch in and pick things up. So that's one reason why. A lot of times when I'm doing these, I'll talk about different cameras and stuff, and I'll say, it doesn't matter, megapixels, whatever. Yeah, if you're shooting for yourself, it doesn't really, right? You can go out and take a great picture with it, whatever camera you have. My most favorite camera that I shoot almost all my personal work with is 10 megapixels, which is like considered nothing these days. But if I'm doing a job, then I'm gonna use the appropriate camera for it. So something that's got a decent amount of megapixels is going to be useful for you. We've got the 24-70 lens on there. That should be fine for us. I probably would have a selection of lenses, obviously based on what I thought I was going to do. I thought we're in store, so I can just walk over and get a lens if I want. But typically, if I'm renting everything, I'm going to keep my range of zoom lenses on a job like this. And the reason for the zoom lenses here versus the prime, for me, is convenience, right? I don't want to rent 15 lenses and keep changing them if the client wants to see something different. The zoom is going to give me a range of things that I can show them. And I'm going to shoot it like f8 anyways, so I'm not worried about shooting super, super wide open. The zoom's going to be plenty sharp enough. So I typically use zooms for this type of stuff. I would get the 24-70, 70-200, and whatever the wide is for your system. I think Nikon's is 14 to something, or I don't know, Nikon. The one day Alex isn't here to tell us what the lens is, but there's like a wide lens that goes, but I think it's 14 to 25 or something. That sounds right to you? You use a Fuji. No. Yeah. Nikon. Oh, okay. So what's the wide lens? What's the wide zoom? What's the good wide and zoom? 14-24. There you go. I was right. Yeah, there we go. That's the one with that big front. That's nice. That's a nice lens. We used that when we were. I forget what we were doing. We were doing some time lapse, and we hung it up in the ceiling. It was really cool. It was a very good lens for that. Always feels weird to put like a $2,000 lens up in the ceiling somewhere to just like say that, but you know, hey, it did the job. Anyways, there you go. So one thing we're going to do, since we're shooting a relatively precise shot, is I'm going to have my model sit. Right? I've made the decision that she's going to sit because that makes it easier for us to light her, and she's not going to move around. It's always worth your while to shoot additional options once you get the main shot. But since we have a basic layout of how they kind of want to put it, we're probably going to keep her in one spot to get exactly the layout. Almost always, you're going to have your art director on set with you. You're going to be tethered. We're tethered into my MacBook here with Capture One. That's going to allow us to preview the pictures as we shoot them, right? So I have my art director there. They can look right at the screen, and they can see if we're getting what they want or make changes on the spot, right? They can also say, oh man, I love that one. Good, star that one 5 stars, right? This is something you can do while you're working. It's going to make your life a lot easier. Because remember, you're working for a client. You're not just working for yourself, so you want to make sure that you know, in an ideal situation, I mean, I've done plenty of jobs where literally they walk away with a hard drive with the images at the end of the day. Because oftentimes at the level of advertising, you might not even be doing the retouching, so you want to make sure you give them what they need, right? So that's something we're going to do. Obviously, I'm the client today, so I'm not worried about that, but you're the client, really, so you can tell me. So typically, you're going to want to have a couple of hard drives. I usually buy two brand new hard drives every time I do a job, and as I'm shooting, I'm dumping into the hard drives as I go, and then one drive goes to the client, the other one gets marked with tape and goes into my file. And then if I want some shots from my portfolio or whatever, I'll pull them from there and add it to my normal archive. But I keep every job separate on their own hard drive. Just keeps it so much easier to deal with. And yeah, that's good to go. Other questions so far? Is all this stuff making sense? Nope? Good. All right, so let's get down to actually trying to set this thing up. So I think the easiest thing to do is going to be to light Ingeborg first, and then we'll just light the background. Because lighting the background should be relatively easy. We do have the headphones that you're going to wear. Are you very excited? They're pretty good, actually. They're pretty good headphones. I just got these, so if you're looking for headphones, don't drop them or anything. So they're like wireless or whatever. So basically, she's going to put down the headphones. She's going to sit here, kind of facing that way with her head down. And then we're going to work on lighting her up. You won't be able to hear me once you get those on because they're noise canceling or whatever. So. No, you can. I think you have to turn on the noise canceling part. Yeah. Yeah, you can sit facing that way. Mm-hmm. Do you guys use noise canceling headphones? No, you do, because that's because people are always yelling at you. Yeah, see, I didn't want to get them because it was kind of like I'm nervous, like to walk around where I can't hear people, and then they convinced me. Chewy convinced me actually because he has these same headphones. He's like, oh, get the noise canceling. So I'm learning to live with them, but it does freak me out when somebody walks up to me and I can't hear them approaching. So, anyways, now you know about my noise canceling headphones. So we have Ingeborg. You can put them on if you want. So we're going to have her. She's going to be slightly like leaning forward. You know, we're going to get roughly what we're going to do. We're going to get a basic framing of the shot. For this, really, before you do anything, we should frame the shot up the way that we think we're going to shoot it. You can just put the camera on aperture priority or whatever, 10 gazillion ISO. The light doesn't matter right now. We're getting our basic frame. If I spend all my time lighting it up and then the art director looks at it and goes, oh, actually, can we have her face the other way? Then I'm going to have to set everything else up again. So don't worry about everything else. Just basically get a shot to see the framing. That way they can get an idea of what it's going to look like before you start building your lighting, especially in a situation where this is pretty precise. If the shot was a big, huge, open thing, that wouldn't matter, right? No matter where the person stands. This is a little bit more precise. It's not like crazy precise. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Dave's pretty good at looking at these things and making it happen. Actually, that's perfect. Thanks for coming. We got the shot. No, this is pretty much actually similar to what we want to do, except the headphones need to be lit up, obviously. But her face kind of in the shadow is nice, and probably her hair not so bright. So we're going to light it. But this is essentially our shot. Maybe she'll adjust her body and stuff a little bit, but this is essentially the picture, right? So we're going to look at this with our art director, and we're going to go, so this is what you're looking for? And then they're going to go, yeah, that's perfect. The lighting's not very good. And then you shut up. So that's easy to do. Bang, we bang it out, right? Now we're going to light it up. Let's start with the headphones, I guess. Sure. Do you think that's going to be the trickiest part?
I guess the white frame.
Yeah, exactly. So now that we've done this shot, we see all this light in this space, right? She's got this light in her head. The background's lit up. It's all kind of funky. We want to get rid of all that light because we want to light our shot. So the first thing you do, and this is common in almost all stuff you do with flash photography, is we want to set ourselves up so that we get what I always call the black frame, which is a shot where none of the ambient light is affecting the image. So we want to set our camera at the lowest possible ISO within its normal range, which is 100 in this case. We're going to set our shutter speed at the maximum speed in which the shutter synchronizes with flash. Now, there is such a thing as high-speed sync, but that's a specialized thing. Not everybody has it, so we're not even going to talk about that really right now. So with that aside, 250th of a second is the maximum synchronization speed of this camera. So 100 ISO, 250th of a second, that's locked in. The third part of our exposure triangle is your aperture. And what that aperture is going to be in order to eliminate the light in the space really depends on where you are. We probably are going to want to be somewhere around f11 in the shot anyways, I think. So I probably might go there, but we could try, I think in this room we can do it with f8 usually, so let's just do f8 just to see, because we want to get our baseline. Okay, so there. So we have a black frame, and then one thing I can do, because I'm in Capture One, right, is I can go over to my little adjusters over here, and I'm going to grab my exposure slider, and I'm going to pull it over like I'm trying to recover a dark shot until I start to see her. And there it is right there. And it's just about 2 stops I start to see her. That's good, right? A couple of stops, even up to 3 stops of underexposure is good for us. The reason for that is we want to be able to recover shadows and stuff in post. So if, hey Angel, we want to be able to recover shadows in post, and if we go just a little bit underexposed, we might not have room to move there. So 2 to 3 stops is a good place to be. I actually think we probably want f11, and we should be able to get that out of the flashes. And the reason why I want f11 probably is because I want to make sure her head stays nicely in focus, you know? Because we're probably going to focus on the headphones because we need those to be as sharp as possible, which means that her face is actually going to be behind the point of focus, so we want to make sure we have enough depth of field. So we're probably going to be around f11, and then we can start lighting up. Any light that's added to the scene now, like from the future pictures that we take, it's all going to be coming from our lights because our shot with no lights on, no flashes, is black, right? So we have the Profoto. This is what, B2, B1? We have a Profoto B1. We have a snoot on it. And a grid, I think, right? So this is I'll try to not break it. All right, I won't take it off because I'll probably break it right now. This is a snoot, and inside of it, this is actually what pirates use when they're trying to see things far away. So this is a snoot, but also what's kind of cool about this Profoto snoot is that, I don't know if you can see it or not, but inside of it there's a grid. Can you see the grid? Not really. So basically the grid is helping to narrow our beam, but also a grid not only narrows the beam, it also feathers it in, right? A snoot is going to create a perfect circle of light. A grid feathers the light. So we don't want it to be super, super obvious. So we're going to use a grid in combination with the snoot, which will give us a little bit more of a narrow angle, but it will also give us a feather on the light. All right, so we just stick that out of the front. It's always important to whack it once. I don't know why I do that, but. Questions so far about snoots? Feathers? Hey, Chris. See, for people online, I could just be like yelling random names into the place. They don't know if anybody's really back there. I guarantee Chris is back there. Okay. So Dave's using the modeling light. He's aiming it in. Oh, interesting. Yeah, that's probably good because of the way her hair is. Obviously, if this was a real job, we would have her in makeup, blah, blah, blah. So this is not going to be perfect, because we're mostly talking about the technical of the lighting. What you probably want to do with this kind of stuff, too, is use your live view, which we can't because, oh, actually, I can. Yeah, it doesn't work well in Capture One. That is the one thing. Is anybody here the master of Capture One? Every single time I do this, I always think there's got to be a way to do it, and I never learn how to do it after. Next time I see Francis. Well, what happens is when you do the live view through Capture One, it does that thing where it just like makes it the right exposure, you know, so it'd be hard to see. So I'm just not going to do it. We'll just take a picture. Yeah, there we go. Okay. That's not terrible. All right, now, but we can't see the logo well. This is where the trick is going to be. See, this logo is black on black. Angles are going to be important here, right? It's going to be a matter of getting that light exactly in the right spot, which is why looking through the camera is going to help.
I see. Okay, it's going to become more camera axis.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm going to boom it.
Yeah. Dave's going to boom the light out, make it a little easier to get it where we want it. It's also being a little bit closer is probably going to be to our benefit as well.
Yeah.
So that way we get a little bit less spread. And again, We're just trying to bring this in. Now, I will mention that you didn't see us use a light meter. The reason why is because this ProPhoto system has what's called TTL. TTL is a metering system. It uses the meter in your camera to make the proper exposure. We're just using that to get ourselves set up. If you don't have a lighting system with TTL, you're going to want to just use a handheld light meter to get your light where you want to get. We will likely, because there's so many lights going on, it's kind of intricate, we're probably going to go with manual settings eventually, but we'll just get our base exposure using the TTL. Questions about that? Nope. So again, this is one of those reasons why being tethered is going to be important, because I can tell you right now that this little logo is going to be the hardest part of this whole thing. As she moves her head, it's going to change how the reflections on it work, right? So when you're working on a project like this, you're basically going to have somebody on the computer the whole time, like a digital tech, watching the shots. And then you're shooting, and they're going to tell you, the logo's doing this, it's out of focus, we're not getting the angle. You're going to want to work this to death, especially when it's on a person. If it's a product, obviously, by itself, and it's not moving anywhere. And we don't necessarily want to be in your face with it. We just want to make sure that you can see it enough.
I might have to just be more head-on with it.
Yeah, it might actually be easier to just pull the tether cord out and just actually use the live view. That's typically how I would do it. I'll turn the live view on and see what happens. Let me just see what it does. Usually once I say something doesn't work, then it works. So now that I've said it doesn't work that well. Or if I say it doesn't work, then it works perfectly, then it doesn't work. Yeah, there it is. Okay, yeah, so we're viewing. And I think we can actually. Cool. Right, so you can see Dave moving the light around now in the live view. I think we can. Oh, okay. Now the other thing here, right, is that, oh, there's the light. Like she might have to turn her head this way so that you can put it head on. Go, turn your face to the left, Ingeborg. There you go. Stop. Too much. Back, 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 back. Right there. And now see if you can get the light.
I saw a moment of it.
Yeah. Cool. Questions so far? No? All right. Are you making bets on whether or not we can do this? It's up in the air right now. See, for people that don't know this, we never test any of this stuff, by the way. Whenever you come to one of these things, we just kind of go with it because that's how life is. So that's why sometimes you see us messing around with things because we don't actually pre-light it and stuff because I feel like that's cheating, right? We're going to do it just the way you would do it on a job. Like we don't know.
All right, so my reflection is way over here. So I have to.
Right? Actually, can we kill the overheads for 1 second? I just want to see. Like, you might be able to see it better.
Close to the. It's gonna be near the top. I gotta get it as close to the camera as possible.
Yep.
So actually, I gotta back it up.
There you go. I actually kind of like how it's partially lighting the headphone. I mean, it might be interesting. I feel like it's in the shot, obviously, though, so you're going to have to move it a little bit like this. I'm curious to see what that looks like. You can bring it back up. Let's just see what that looks like out of curiosity. Hold on, I got to kill the live view. There we go. All right, so we're testing this one. Questions about live view? Or the lack thereof? Live view, by the way, is like the most amazing thing. I guess it's really super common now, but like, it's one of those things that, there we go. It's a little hot. See, I actually think that's kind of cool. The ad itself is going to say Bose, so I don't think it has to show the whole thing. I think if we can get it a little bit lower, we'll probably have, or she can even just turn her head like this. Like leave the light where it is, and she can actually take. So tip your head like this slightly. So go like that. There you go. I think that'll do it. A little more.
Lower this.
Yeah, and then turn it back towards me slightly. Well, actually, I probably should look through the camera while I'm doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, try that. All right.
And then we'll probably lower our power.
There we go. Now we see it. Yeah, and then now we just mess with power. Now it's all about power. It would be nice to not have it so much on her face, but I think we'll be able to deal with that in a second. I think if we just lower the power first. So now we're going to play around with the power. What's that?
Well, I think some cinefoil or something.
Yeah, exactly. We can make the snoot tighter with cinefoil. We can, we could flag it. Now, one important thing here is that, so Dave's messing around with the power now. He's going to get a little darker because that's probably brighter than we need it to be. We see all kinds of junk on the background or whatever. That doesn't matter to us because we're going to blow out the background. So we know that, so I'm not concerned with the background right now. What I am concerned with is there's too much light on her face. So we're going to figure out if we can either flag it off slightly or possibly use cinefoil, but let's just get an exposure back where we want. That's probably a little too dark. Okay, that's probably actually interestingly, yeah, I think maybe just a smidge brighter than that. And a lot of this is going to end up being, yeah, that's probably good. A lot of this is going to end up being slight adjustments of her face as we're working to get the logo exactly the way we want it, right? This is going to be, that's the shoot, right? This is all the setup. The shoot itself is the tweaks, right? So that's probably pretty good. Can we just, what if we just flag it? Do you think a flag would be too harsh of a line, Dave?
Yeah.
Okay. What would be nice actually would be like a, do we not have the thingy? The road rags kit? Okay, we're gonna do that. That's fine. We're gonna put a little tape on the snoot, like a net, like a.
Do you need a black?
We need a net, like a two-stop net. Yeah, we have a flag. So a net versus a flag. A flag is going to block all the light, right? A net blocks a certain amount of light without. It's almost like putting an ND in front of your light in a sense. But if you use an open-ended net, then you can kind of feather off how it is. I'm actually going to see if I can get. At this point, I'm randomly texting people to have them bring me equipment. We'll see if this works. Any questions so far about who I'm texting you? Actually, it's going to be weird, right? Because you're going to be like, "Whoa, what's going on?" There we go. So, let's see. Can you bring the road rags? Oops, I wrote tags instead. Rags kit down, please. Smiley face with no mouth, right? Seems appropriate. There we go. It's just eyes and no mouth. Yeah, I'm not sure what it really means. I feel like that's kind of a nice. What do you think about that? Smiley face with no mouth. Is that the one appropriate for that? Because I'm like kind of like, right? Yeah, it's hard to say.
Now we have nowhere near enough power. So,
Okay,
but I do see it. So
cool. Let's see.
let me go back to the yellow.
Yep. Oh. Oh, look at that. That's pretty good. All right, so Dave put a little gaff on there. Yeah, and then it's just a matter of turning your head the right direction. I think that's actually probably pretty good. I still think we'll use the flag if the net if he brings it down. Maybe give it a smidge more power, and then we'll just have her turn her head slightly.
Full power.
Okay, then not more power then. It's going to be a matter of just getting the face. Like look through the thing and just have her adjust her head until, because it's pretty close. Try to get one. Yeah. Cool. Questions so far? Answers maybe? No? Using gaffer tape in really fun ways is a big part of being a photographer.
Close. So it's easy to go a couple of different.
Yeah, you went exactly the opposite direction. Whatever you did, do the opposite, because that's where it was, now it's there.
Okay, don't worry about that.
This is for stock photography where you don't see any brand. Okay, so we'll deal with that in a second, because perhaps Fernando will bring the kit down. I felt my wrist vibrate. Oh, going, whatever that means. And that means okay.
So I almost feel like.
Now, what? What?
I was gonna say I almost feel like going soft
Okay, so
But then we'll have, obviously, the fall off the rest of it. So.
yeah, we'll see. Let's start with our original plan, and then we'll adjust as we go. Dave suggested maybe we need to use a larger light source instead. Possibly the strip might work. But let's start here since we're already here. So let's light her face. Let's handle all the front stuff first. So I think for her face, we're going to use this softbox here, which is a 2 foot by 3 foot softbox, kind of standard. Oh, there's Fernando. We're going to go like boom, light her face like that. Thank you. Thank you, Fernando. This is Fernando. They didn't clap or anything, so usually they clap when Fernando comes in. This is the exact equivalent of being in a rental studio and saying that you need something and they go get it for you. That's why we're spoiled in New York. It really is. I mean, I used to, when I first started doing photography, I worked in Miami. And like, you were always like on the beach or something when you needed a piece of equipment and you were like, oh. In New York, you're in the studio. It's like, oh, I'll take a piece of equipment, please. So this is a road rags kit. So basically it's a series of, it's a frame that you can put a different kind of materials on. You can also use it if you're looking for, no, you do it this way, right? When you're looking for water? Is that how you do it? You know what I'm talking about? No, she has no idea what I'm talking about. You never had a well put in? You know, that's what they do when they're going to put a well in your house. They walk around. They really do that. This is a net. I think we're going to go 2 stops. I think I only have a big 2 stop though. Yeah, so they come in different sizes. And basically, yeah, there we go. This is a big one. Essentially, what we're going to do here is put the net, and you can see it's open-ended. I think so, yeah. And see, that's also going to throw some light on her, so I think that'll be fun. Let's just see what that does. So this net, again, it doesn't change the quality of light. It doesn't make it softer or harder. It doesn't change the direction of the light. It just cuts it, basically. And what it ends up doing is, only where the net is present is it going to lower the amount of light, right? So, and it's open-ended. So we have, you know, if I put it, I'll do it myself, you know, like that, it's only going to cut some of the light. I can cut it from hitting me like that, right? Okay. So this might be part of our solution here. Okay. So what Dave's going to do is he's going to just use the softbox now. It's important or useful when you're setting up multiple lights to see what each light independently is doing and then bring them all in together. It's going to make it a lot easier for you than just adding lights. So every time you're bringing a new light, turn off the other ones. See what it's doing. I'm still punched in here, sorry. There we go. Cool. All right, so questions about the road rags or anything else? About those headphones? They're pretty nice. Yeah, you can get the non-noise canceling ones too. They're a little less expensive. But then you'll always wish you had the noise canceling, really. That's what it's going to come down to. Somewhere. Channel maybe?
Nope.
1C?
There it is.
Yep. Oh, interesting. Huh. Yeah. Yeah, something weird going on here.
Let's swap it for the other one.
Yep. All right.
Anyway.
Cool. Switch lights here. So sometimes in transportation, your flash tube will get loose and thus make your light not fire. So we may have to just fiddle with that flash tube in a second, but actually I can probably do it while Dave's doing this. So, because the light's powering up, it's just not firing, so it's probably the flash tube is loose. questions about this? About flash tubes? There's like a really cool way to do this without like using a knife, but I don't think I can do it because I'm not really cool. Yeah, I'll probably just use a knife. Yeah, like a little skinny knife or whatever. I just need to bend it back or a screwdriver even. Yeah, you just gotta push the thing back. Nah, yeah, flathead. Something skinny. The knife is fine. Yeah, nah, it's fine. So basically, I'm just gonna pop this little. Make sure that if you're going to do this, that you're not plugged in, and also, or if it's battery powered, in this case, make sure the battery's not on there, because you can get zapped by a flash tube pretty easily. Seems to be in there, okay.
What are you thinking?
Yeah, this is not working. We'll live without it. Cool. All right, so
We got the D2 for the back.
moving on. All right, that's not terrible. It's a little brighter than we need it to be. Let's turn it down a bit. I think a stop, yeah, because her face is going to be in the shadow. Yeah, it's better. So now let's add the other light back in so we can see what they're doing. Because remember, the two lights together are going to affect the exposure. They're going to kind of come up together. So let's see what the two lights are doing. Cool, okay. And again, all right, see now it looks like her face is too bright. So now maybe turn that light down a little bit more.
This one?
Yeah, the B light.
Have to stop, right?
Yeah. I think what we'll end up doing is, again, she's going to have to, right now we're not lined up properly. She's going to have to tip her head like this.
Yeah, try tilting your head a little to the left. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we're going to move her hair, and she just has to turn slightly. And this is still too bright.
Okay. I'm gonna drop another half stop.
Yep. And then I guess for the background, we're going to do a stand. It's over there. Oh.
That's gonna look weird.
Yep. All right, let's do one more. So go ahead and, okay. Let's just in my hands. There we go. We're getting there. It's just a matter of getting it exactly, tweaking it. But I think that's going to be pretty good. And we can see that we've basically filled in. I actually think this is still too bright. Kind of wish we had a grid on it.
Fine tweaks.
Yeah.
Do you want it to be on exposure with the other?
No, I want it to be a little bit darker because her face is,
Oh,
the
dark.
layout says that her face should be in shadow. So we want her face to be a little bit dark. You know, not super dark, but dark.
Probably like.
Yeah.
So now we're on exposure, right?
Yep. So maybe even a tiny bit like, are you throwing stuff at me again? That's what they do. At least they're not tomatoes this time.
Half stop darker. Just half stop.
There we go.
Half stop darker.
Now we're getting it a little bit darker. And now let's add the light into the background because that's also going to affect things before we nail down all of our exposures. So we were going to use two lights to light the background, but since the one light had an issue, we will just go with the one, which should be fine.
The short stand, put it here.
Oh yeah, that's probably a good idea. We can use a shorty stand. And we'll light the background with one light. Sometimes you're in situations, this is why you have extra equipment, you know? We're gonna make it work. Cool. So this is a D2, which is not the battery powered light, but the plug in the wall to style. Yes. Right. So, right, the hair is important, right? And I think probably because the design of this particular one is kind of a casual design, her hair would be done and styled in a way that it's not on top of the headphones, but not pulled back tight. That's maybe more of a sports type thing. So I wouldn't just, the simple solution obviously is just to give her a ponytail, but I don't know if that really fits with the style of the original image that we thought of. So I think leaving it kind of curly is nice. We're just gonna have to, again, you'd have hair and makeup. Once the actual shoot starts, like once all this crap is done, essentially a makeup artist could be standing right here the whole time. They're not affecting anything. They could literally be right there and just keep, it's super easy to do, and that's their job really. If you ever hire a makeup artist and they do the makeup and then go sit in the corner on their phone, you don't hire them again. Like that's their job, is to be on the set and making sure that the stuff is good throughout the whole job. It's part of what they're there for. Yeah. Yeah, at
I
this
think it's going to be enough power at this
Yeah, we'll probably have to use that one in manual. So essentially what we're doing is we're going to try to overexpose the background a bit because we want it to be whitish. Okay, so right now it's gray, which is pretty good. It's like that's pretty much actually correct, if you will, I think. So we want a little more contrast. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, let's blast it. The trick here is to get it bright enough so that we get the nice bright background, but not so bright that we start to get lens flare. Because we can flare off the background, there we go, if we give it too much light, because if you actually, what's interesting about this is now I kind of want to kill that softbox. Because I'm curious if the light bouncing on the background and then kind of bouncing off this as a reflector is actually going to be enough light that we don't even need the softbox to fire. So we'll just kill the softbox for a second. We're going to leave it there, but we're going to turn off the actual flash exposure. Again, we're still going to charge the client for it because it's there. Maybe even extra.
And I dropped it back half a stop.
Okay, we drop the background half a stop. Ah, interesting. No. Actually, I think you did, and I think it's not bright enough. Nah, let's let it blow forward. I kind of like it. This is interesting. I think I like the softbox, but I think we'll turn it down a little bit. So there's several tweaks we're doing at once. Let's get the background to where we want it. Again, we want her face in the shadow, which I think is fine. I think we want to turn the softbox back on, but turn it down one more stop. Because I want it, this is too dark. It's not even that it's too dark, it's too flat, right? The softbox is not only adding light, it's also adding contrast and shape to her face. I want her face to be a little bit brighter. Not only that, but also it's going to give some light in her eyes. See, that made her eye change. So even though it's like barely more exposure right now at the softbox, it's adding that dimensionality to the shot, right? Let's look at the difference there so you guys can see. Right, so this is with the softbox, and then if we look at the one without the softbox, you see the difference? It's only marginally brighter with the softbox, but look at the difference in her eye and the contrast. So I can put them together. Right? See that? So again, little things, makes a difference, right? The other one was fine, but this is going to give us that a little bit extra shape, a little bit extra contrast. I think it's actually pretty good. We could probably go for trying to get, now let's try to get the headphones to get the logo the right way. So let's try to get the headphones. This is not terrible, but I think she's got to like tilt. It's a tiny bit. I mean, it's like literally just a little bit of a turn, and I think you'll have it. And again, it's going to be a matter of tweaking it slightly as we go. The other thing I'm going to do is after he takes this first shot, this is the next step.
And then a turn slightly to the right. Yeah. A little less.
What do you think, guys? It's working. You were a little worried for a while. You were nervous, I could tell, but I think we came around. We rallied, as they say.
Right there.
Now, if we were using Windows, right? Oh yeah, nice. Now, here's the next step. We actually framed this up and everything wider than it needed to be for the actual layout, so we have room to move, right? What I can actually do when I'm using a piece of software like Capture One is I can actually add the appropriate crop. Like the art director could tell me, well, this is going to be 5:7 proportion. You can put in whatever proportion you want, right? And then essentially we can crop this thing out so that it's actually framed up to how the ad's going to be in the magazine or whatever. So let's say it's a 2-page magazine ad, this is the framing. So now we have this, and when we're shooting it, right? Again, we're still shooting the whole thing. It's not really cropping it. We're still shooting a raw file. But now we're seeing it, how it's going to appear in the magazine. We could actually also drop a, obviously this wouldn't be a 2-page ad like this because it would cut our most, but we could also add a, what? Placeholder? Yeah, we could also add a layout on there. We could put text in there. Like if we knew what the text was or logos, we could have a transparent layer on top of it with the logos. So as we're shooting, the client can actually see that as you're going. And you won't always have that available, but if you do, it's nice to have. I will say the having the crop to the right size is so important because the client's going to look at this like rectangular image you're shooting out of your camera, and if their shot is going to be square, they're constantly going to be not liking it because it's not what they see. So add the crop. Make sure you get that in there. That's easy to do. It's a simple process. I just did it. It will automatically from now on do that. Now it's just a matter of moving our head around to get the logo exactly what we want. I actually kind of want to try one other thing. I'm curious if we just turn this a little bit, what's it going to do? Just try it. I'm just curious what that'll do. Curious. Yep. Yeah, she's going to be kind of grooving. So be grooving. Yeah, she knows how to do it. That's why we hire good talent.
All right, so then rotate rule 14.
It's like you have to be an exact spot, but be natural.
There we go.
Yeah. You're enjoying the music. Is it like death metal or something? Yeah, there you go. She's grooving. But you see how I kept maybe be like a little bit happier because you have music that you like. Oh, actually, I wanted to see what that change in the softbox did. Yeah, see how it changed it a little bit? I actually like it better the other way. The whole little bit. Oh, sure. Okay. No, it's fine. I actually like it better the other way.
Because
No, it's good. She was grooving.
we get the logo just perfect.
So you got the perfect logo. And again, I'm just tweaking the position of this to change how it looks in her eyes. Try another one. What, should you have what? Be happy? Actually, can you reach up?
Yeah, I'm thinking like.
Yeah, to do the control, because there's a control right. Oh, it's on the other side. You're wearing them backwards. That, by the way, stylist is fired. Yeah, you have them on the wrong ear.
Well then.
I noticed that a minute ago. That's why I
Yeah.
got mine. I was like,
Yeah. Yeah, just
Fair,
They look very symmetrical.
yeah.
it says inside of it.
Oh. As you can see, I don't have fancy headphones.
I know, we need to get you some. We'll get you some.
He didn't.
Special price. Yeah.
So I'm swapping them around.
Yeah, so that the right one is on the right and left on. Well, because the control's on that side. One of the reasons why we set it up this way is because we might want to do a shot where we show her controlling it.
It also will be on, but then she won't be able to hear anything
Yeah.
very well.
Yeah, they probably should
But
be
then
on
like,
as
you'll
well.
have like the little light on.
Yeah, I don't think that'll pick up, but we'll try it. Is it talking to you?
Never mind.
Okay,
These ones
it's
don't
okay.
have a light on the outside. Some of them do.
There's a light right there, but you won't be able to see it from this angle. So now reach up like the control's right here.
She's shining a light on my
I am?
No, she is.
Oh, she is. She's still talking.
Far away.
Yeah, because see, it's weird. It's awesome, but it's weird. But did you feel the controls though? They're right there. Reach up with your hand and touch. Yeah, there you go. So now, if we can pull this off without covering the logo.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
that's good.
Okay. Now we get them the right way. We'll see what happens.
Rotate.
You knew that the whole time, didn't you? You were like, I have these headphones and these are wrong.
This side, by the way, is less reflective.
Oh, great. And it's a less reflective side to make it more difficult for us.
Yeah.
We didn't want to make it too easy. Yeah, there we go.
You know what's funny is I see a perfect reflection.
No, that's good. Actually, to be honest, the light on it is really good. The only thing is now we've opened up a world of problems, which is we have a small hard light source coming from the front and it's throwing a shadow on her face from her finger. So what we need to do is make sure that we pose the hand, if we want to do this, in such a way that we don't get that finger shadow. And I found that when dealing with models and stuff, the easiest way to do that is to show them. So Can you see that TV right there?
There's a little
You see the shadow next to your finger where that little hand is? Yeah, try to bend your finger or do your hand in a different way so it won't put a shadow there.
maybe like how you had it, how you got
Like-
them closer together.
Yeah, put your fingers closer together so the shadow will be hidden behind the...
Yeah. So there's like no separation.
Yep,
between
no
your
separation between your fingers. And then try that.
fingers. Okay. So then. Okay.
Oh, that's my favorite angle. I like that one. I'll tell you right now, we would have spent, the $50,000 set budget, shot the whole thing on the wrong ear, and we would have been in a lot of trouble. Yeah, there we go. Now there's no shadow. And then it's just, honestly, for some reason, the logo is actually better on this side. So that actually worked out really well for us. We did it on purpose just to kind of trick you guys. But we can see now, we've got a nice bright eye. It doesn't even look close as a punched-in shot, right? We can see the control. What's that? No, you don't like them turned on?
No, I mean it doesn't.
Well, you can see the green.
No, you can't. You can't see it. So we don't need.
Sure you can. Watch.
Oh.
Now it's red, right? Go ahead, shoot it like that. And they're off. Yeah, there's an on-off switch. I don't know if it's red or if it's just nothing. Is it red? Yeah.
Where is this?
It's right here. Yeah, it's red when they're off.
Okay.
Yeah, you can see it right there. Green.
Okay.
It's not a light, it's just a green dot. There is a light on the bottom, but we'll never pick that up. Yeah, it's a switch. Yeah, yeah. So let's have it on. And let's just work through it a little bit.
Because it would look weird then if you choose like Jan and then.
Yeah, exactly. Although they do work, you just have to have the wire plugged in if they're not on. All right. Yeah, that's what I do if I'm like using them with my computer. I know it's weird.
Have everywhere.
So let's shoot a couple. Any questions? Oh wow, that actually worked out perfectly time-wise. Look at that. It's almost like we've done this before. So, one note I will say is if this was your job for the entire day, don't do it in an hour. You got to have craft services. We got to make it work. Are there any questions about this? You kind of get the groove of it. We made our shot match as close as possible to our thing, and then again, it comes down to client approval. And what we would do if this was a job is I would be shooting dozens of photos, right? All little tiny tweaks, different places with the hand. You might even go so far as to do different changes of the shirt. There could be different backgrounds depending on what you're shooting. And basically, you can create a variety of shots this way, right? Now the background's white, right? We could very easily have made it a color background for different holidays or whatever. So our basic setup is easy, right? Once we're there, we can do as many different shots as the client needs in one day. Yeah. What do you think? Would you buy these headphones? Yeah, you would? Good. All right, that makes me feel better. They're actually pretty good headphones. Yeah. They're not cheap, but they're good. I think they're $350. Yeah.
So for the fabric,
For you, $349.
for this type of should it always be a white background to be able to tweak it easily, or?
Okay, so should it always be a white background? No. That was just the layout that was given to us. This particular one, they wanted against a white background because they were going to add text. It's a very simple ad. If we did, let's say for instance, they wanted a more stark shot. Actually, that's what we'll do for the next session. I'm going to change my plan. Are you going to be here for the next session? Oh, there you go. In the next session, we're going to use the same concept, but we're going to make it more of a night shot. We'll add some like colored gels, and we'll make the background dark. And we'll show you the difference of like changing that up. Oh yeah, that's pretty nice. You can see the bows. She looks good. She's grooving. Yeah.
And then there's like
And there's room for text. She's smiling, so we can play around. Again, that's what you're going to do. So, but yeah, the question is, this could be anywhere. Okay, let's say, for instance, the shot was this, but in a studio apartment, right? We could just light the apartment. It's just a matter of what's behind her. We just chose white because, I know what I'm working with here, so I only have so much space. I was going to try to use the windows, but of course the weather didn't help us. So we opted for this. And also, you see this a lot in electronics ads. They do a lot of really simple, kind of stark white stuff. It's very popular in that. So, but I wouldn't say always shoot against white. That's boring. Anyways, thanks for coming. This is going to be online, so if you want to watch it, it is online. You can see yourself, the back of your heads. But we're coming back at 2 o'clock, not online, unfortunately. to do more, and we'll mess around a little bit more. And next week is Passover, so I won't be here. I'll be passed over. The week after that, it's debatable. Check the Adorama schedule. I was gonna do something on the 20th, but I think I might not. Yeah, because Chewy's not gonna be here, and Dave's not gonna be here, and really, that's what you guys come for. Like, I mean, really, it'll be tricky for me to do it by myself. So unless you guys just want to hang out, you just come by and we'll just chill. But I don't think I'll do anything on the 20th. Then I'm gonna be in NAB. So is anybody going to NAB? Any filmmakers here? Watch Adorama TV that week though, because we're gonna do all kinds of live from NAB. You'll see me do my little thing like this. I do the microphone. I saw a microphone earlier. I had to practice. So what do you think about that?
Amazing.
Yes, it's great, right?
Incredible.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, believe it or not. So I'll do that, and then we're gonna be shooting. Yeah, there it is. Watch me do it. What do you think, Dave?
Fascinating. You've got the technique down.
Yeah, good. That's it. That's how you do it. So it looks simple. Took me years for the training to learn how to do that. But that'll be super fun, and then we're going to be in Vegas, so there'll be some cool Vegas videos. So if you don't know about it, check out Mark's thing. See that? I'm just shouting Mark right again, Mark on a bike. And also all the other great stuff on Adorama TV, which is adoramatv.com or youtube.com/AdoramaTV. And the next one.
On YouTube are products.
Oh, that's right. And our next series of videos, because I don't know if you know this, but I have the little short videos that come out every Monday at 10, I guess. And the next series is actually shooting a beauty campaign. So you'll see kind of like a variety of shots that are a little more campaign-y. So check that out. What else are we pitching? Angel's here. You're going to NAB with us, right? So Angel goes to NAB. But you reminded me, if you have any stuff that you want to sell, not like a TV or something, well, maybe a TV. I say not a TV, you have to ask. Adorama used department wants to buy stuff. They're trying to stock up. So if you do have cameras and stuff you're trying to get rid of, I mean, that are good, obviously. Not your car or anything like that, but you can bring them in and they'll, maybe Angel will buy your car, but not Adorama in general. A fast car, right? It's like a, yeah. You can sell it to us. How do they do it when it's online? Do you even know how to do that? Because every time I get to this point and I don't know, what do they do? Oh, they give you a label. So there you go. You write to them and you're like, hey man, I have a Hasselblad. What will you give me for it? And then they'll be like, lots of money. And then you'll be like, boom, done. So yeah, if you want to sell us a Hasselblad, I'm actually looking for one personally. So if you want to, that'd be good. And I guess that's it. All right, guys, thanks for coming.